Thames in Galveston. It's on Seawolf Park on Pelican Island.
Pelican Island.
So you actually have to leave the main island to go to the smaller island.
Which has like A&M and
correct. And it's connected by a small bridge. It's on 53rd Street. And you drive to what you feel is the end of the earth. That's when you hit Seawolf Park and the Naval Museum. And it's really cool because they have a World War II era submarine, the USS Kavala, and they have a World War II era destroyer escort, which is the USS Stuart.
Which is neat because they're...
And the resume of the Kavala is pretty impressive.
It's an awesome resume. It won a presidential citation for basically torpedoing one of the ships, or one of the carriers that attacked Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, with a 30,000-ton aircraft carrier on its maiden voyage, I believe.
And it'll be the only battleship in Texas here soon. Or not in Texas, in Houston.
Technically it is,
because
right?
They're moving
Warcraft.
over in the, what's it called?
Over the channel?
I hadn't heard where it's going.
Yeah, I'm not even
sure. It was supposed to move, and it hasn't moved yet.
I'm not
but
sure what
I
is.
went the last weekend of the viewing when they were closing it down.
I should have gone.
I went, and I saw it the last time, and they were supposed to be like repairing it, moving out, repairing it. I think it was going to come back eventually, but
that's
it's still
World
there.
War I.
I think COVID.
That's insane.
Yeah, I think COVID like stopped that whole thing probably.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I thought it was gone already.
No, I saw it a month or two ago. It was still there. Okay. Yeah, and I thought when I went like a year ago, that was the last. It was supposed to be leaving.
It's true.
Yeah. The news is newsworthy, but
no, I'm sad to see it go.
It's important to keep these things.
I believe
working and around for the public to see, because it's really one of the few ways we can experience now what they went through during World War II.
It's so cool to see.
And to not know that experience is a shame, because so many bad things happen in war, and to not be able to experience it at all is tough. To just see it on TV is one thing, but when you actually go there and you see how those sailors lived, it's really it's inspiring.
And now a lot of people may not think of the Navy as somebody that creates a lot of wreckage, right? That you think Army, you think Marines, all that kind of stuff.
It's all supported by the Navy.
But let's go back in the day, to World War II and Korean War, and I mean the Navy was really the big dog. I mean, they were the ones that were making all the big decisions, and I mean they were doing a lot of work back then. Now, like I said, they're still really active, but back in the day, you knew the U.S. Navy. You were scared of them for sure. I mean,
and while
we're talking the big guns.
While we're talking about the Navy, the newest exhibit over at the Lone Star Flight Museum over at Ellington Airport is it's a World War II dive bomber. They had it on display before. They sent it off. They repainted it to match former President Bush's. Yes, so it's a tribute to both him and the two people that actually passed. When he was shot down during World War II.
Right.
Matter of fact, I was at the media event. It was 2 Fridays ago. There was members of the Bush family there, including George W.'s brother, one of the sons of the former elder Bush, who's passed away.
Is he like the Texas comptroller or something?
Yeah, I'm not. Well, that's the son. That's the son of the former governor of Florida. This is the third brother who I don't think I think he
wasn't in politics.
Yeah, I don't think he's in politics at all. But he was there with his son and some other Bush family members, and also a surprising number of World War II veterans, that got standing ovations. And obviously a lot of political people are there too. Everybody's up for re-election right now. But no, really, really awesome event. Narrated, there was a real good presentation. The lead general there at the Flight Museum did a really nice presentation, and they kind of taxied the airplane in and did a little display, and so it's the newest exhibit over at the Lone Star Flight Museum.
Very nice.
I heard they did some things in the air, like some of the pilots did things that they've never done before, some formations that haven't been done with different planes, and I'm sad that I missed the show.
And you're talking about the air show.
I know. I'm sad I missed it as well.
Yeah. So the air show is this past weekend, and they turned it into like a drive-in air show, literally, where it was all social distance. They took temperatures. I mean, they really were over the top with the precautions, but they had everybody spaced out. You could take your car, literally right up to the flight line, and it was really impressive. And they had. I mean, first of all, they described it as the first event in the Houston region since COVID started.
Wow!
It's I think the first air show and probably the best lineup of acts, aerial acts, of the entire 2020 season.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was, they didn't have like, traditionally you usually have like the Blue Angels, Thunderbirds, or, one of the Snowbirds, one of the big, military teams.
What are the Snowbirds?
Snowbirds are the Canadian. Yeah, the Canadian.
They come in sometimes?
Yeah, they come in. Yeah. Matter of fact, originally.
They've got nothing else to do.
So. Right. Right. Yeah. Originally,
man.
actually,
Sorry,
the plan was this year they were going to have 2 acts. I think it was going to be the Thunderbirds and the Snowbirds. So it was going to be the rare two of the real top aviation acts at once, but obviously that kind of changed.
Yeah.
But no, they had the F-35. It was really a cool display. And as Ors kind of mentioned, they had the Heritage of Flight formation with different planes that I've never seen flying together.
That was cool.
Yeah, so it was a really cool event, and the show must go on. It was really impressive because the air show is literally probably the biggest event. I mean, usually in years past, they average over 100,000 people out
It's
there.
one of my favorite events.
Yeah, it's definitely my favorite.
It's a 3-day event, and I think, was it 3 days this
year?
Time,
it was going to be 3 days, but Friday was rained out because of the storm that just east of us.
Yes, that's true. That was the last day of the storm here in the area. So Saturday and Sunday were both beautiful days.
Beautiful, yes.
So they really lucked out. That's good. I'm glad.
And the air show traditionally gets really lucky. I've noticed that over the years. I've got got thousands and thousands of gigs and terabytes of photos with just beautiful blue skies, of the air show over the years. I mean, occasionally it rains, but they seem to have better luck than some events.
So, speaking of traditional events, events have been going on for so long that have big crowds, lots of people that go. I mean, generations of people. The air show and also the boat show. So I'm sure some people that follow the boat show might know, but if you haven't heard it, you might hear it first. Officially, as of Monday, the 66th annual Houston Boat Show, which has never, ever been canceled in 66 years, will be canceled.
Wow.
Yeah, so we did it last year. We did not do the summer one, which is... Depending on the economy, certain seasons, they have the off and on with the summer show. That's typical. They always do a January show.
This is the big one.
This is the big one, 66th. We were there last year. Ors was there. The Scene was there. We were there. Jet Surf. We were all there. We did a broadcast with the operations manager. Yeah, it was amazing. We've been there for 3 years in a row. But yes, if you're a boater, fisherman, unfortunately, you'll have to wait till summer. They will not be having the Houston Boat Show in January, if you guys didn't know. So go on their website, check that out. They're devastated. It comes, womp. But yeah, I think the summer boat show will be strong.
Sure.
People
they're
hopefully
we're make up for it.
Yeah, hopefully we're COVID free then, and things are getting back to normal. And the summer it'll probably be the summer boat show ever, because they didn't have the one in January. So, but just wanted to put that out there since we're talking about traditions and long, 66th annual, guys.
Wow.
So long time here.
I had not heard about that. It's probably, I'm sure there's good reasons for it. Although, we do talk about that. The one thing that COVID kind of hasn't taken away is the great outdoors, getting out on the water,
But you don't have to go to a boat show to buy a boat. What it's taken away from is the fact that...
The events getting all together in a confined space.
Normally you would go to something like that, but... So boating is hot right now. There's a lot of people that are getting out on the water and enjoying water sports and boating, but you don't have to go put yourself at risk to do that. You know what I mean? And so that's where they had to draw that line. I don't even know... I think it comes down to the vendors. They have a lot of vendors that pay a lot of money to be there, and if they can't produce a guaranteed amount of revenue to come in there or audience,
it's not worth it.
It's just not worth it because not only for them paying their bills and renting the venue and everything with their expenses, but having vendors, like I said, that pay $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 to sell yachts, and no one's coming,
no one's going to attend.
No one's going to attend.
Well,
right? So
here's the silver
tough.
lining, though. Here is the silver lining because I happen to know from talking to different people in the industry.
Sure.
We're talking about boating, sailing, fishing, marinas. All these industries have actually had a really good year.
Oh, exceptional.
We're talking about people staying at home, having the money to go out and just say, hey, I'm going to go buy a boat. I'm
going to go use my boat.
Or I'm going to go use my boat. I've seen the docks and the boat ramps and boat launches
so active
on the weekends. And, I've talked to some of the bait camps, and they say that they're having weekend holiday numbers. They're seeing some huge numbers. And even the fishing piers are doing phenomenally
We would have sold 50 boards this year we couldn't even get them. Like, because of COVID, we had a problem with manufacturing and, production. But, yeah, I mean, it was hot this year. We would have sold over 50 Jets in Houston, probably.
Speaking of production and manufacturing and shipping, you guys might want to listen up to this part, because we are going to be hitting a portion in time where it's going to be difficult to get a hold of certain kinds of liquor, particularly Crown and tequila.
Interesting.
So it's all manufacturing, and it's all COVID related.
Sure.
But during this holiday season, we're going to see a limit on how many bottles are shipped to each location that sell them. Wow. And so they're having to limit.
Whiskey and tequila have been hit.
Yeah, they're having to limit because
Scotch.
their production's gone down. The shipping is obviously not what it used to be. But so go out early, get your bottles before
your
the
Christmas
holidays
bottles.
come.
Yeah, so get on the list.
And I'm talking about go out before November and get your Crown, because it's going to be gone. There's going to be very limited numbers. They're limiting how much each shop is going to get. So
and normally that's not an issue for a mainstream company like Crown, right? Something that there are some limited whiskeys, but we're talking about major Jameson, Crown companies that have bottles on the shelves are going to probably be dealing with.
And
this,
we're talking about Patron and Don Julio and all these big tequila manufacturers. These guys are going to have trouble getting bottles to you this Christmas. So be sure you go out and get them early. I mean, just something that I heard through the grapevine. From a buddy of mine who owns a couple liquor stores.
Sure.
And so I think that I just wanted to share that info with everybody.
Good stuff. This segment sponsored by Crown.
I think people have been actively drinking this year.
That's true.
We're not supporting alcoholism, but man, it's been an active year for alcohol.
The police.
I've never drank so much at home.
Wow, I'm telling you, yeah. Yeah, that's funny.
Man. Yeah, it really has. I mean, we kind of talked about it with the breweries and the package game, canning and getting them out on the shelves. I mean, it really has been the year of the
access to some that might only be at one small bar, is now you can actually get out of Specs or something,
right.
So that's really cool.
God bless mobile canning lines and all the other things that kind of make that possible. But I mean, all the alcohol producers have really had to pivot and have dealt with challenges too. So it's matter of fact, I think we mentioned before the show, but not on the show. Right now, there's a grand reopening party over at Relene Distilleries right there on the San Leon Peninsula.
Give her a shout out.
Matter of fact, I think Galveston County Judge Mark Henry, who formerly owned the brewery, Galveston Bay Brewing Company, he's hosting the party. Yeah, so
a politician.
So congratulations,
to
Kelly Relene. I know she's been, she's felt like she's had her hands tied behind her back. Has not been able to open.
Who's almost been a politician. For an advocate.
Oh yeah, well, she's been fighting.
Yeah,
she's been fighting in Austin for years.
Such a liaison between
Truth.
That and the government. Literally, helped write some of the laws that were changed. I mean, part of a big group.
Now, when she first started, when she first opened,
they lobbied. They literally had a lobby group. It's
well,
crazy.
she used to be the head. Yeah, I think she actually still is the head of the one lobby group, but. When she first opened, they couldn't even give you a sample. I mean, you could take a tour, then she'd send you to the liquor store around the corner. She couldn't even give you a sample, and then she's got to the point now where she's got a craft cocktail bar that she built.
Yeah,
with live music on the weekends.
She's made me a couple cocktails.
Yeah, I'm a member of the Pirates Guild. I think there's like 350 different drinks on my checklist.
Okay.
I've got a lot.
You have to check them, or you've checked those?
No, I've not.
Whoa!
I do. I am guilty of sticking with some of the ones I really dig. So I probably should be branching out more than I have on that list. But
what kind of liquor do they make? Is it?
Well, they do. Okay,
mostly rum.
No. Well, they started out rum. Yeah, they started out with rum. Matter of fact, I think she's the first female rum maker in America. I mean, there's all kinds of. But then they expanded. They've expanded into whiskey. They've got vodka, and they've got something they call blue agave, which is really
like mezcal.
It's their version. It's their version of tequila. I mean, it's not. They can't call it tequila because it's not.
Mezcal's not tequila, but so it's
it's not made in the two provinces in Mexico. But no, she's hitting every segment. And of course, she worked in the liquor business for years with some of the distributors, and she's a. She's a master distiller, a sommelier. I mean, she knows her stuff.
Well, whiskey's tough because not a lot of local producers make whiskey because it takes so long to
Well, it's funny you say that because I'm sure you've heard of Garrison Brothers, right?
No.
No, okay. So Garrison Brothers is like a big Texas whiskey brand right now. They've got like the Whiskey Trail, and a lot of people are familiar with them, and they actually leaned on